Welcome to Urban Homestead Radio, preserving a homegrown way of life and inspiring others to bring the revolution home. Thanks to the support of our sponsor, Lehman's. For over 60 years, they have provided practical, non-electrical tools, appliances, and home goods. When technology fails, their products will certainly work. Check out their website at lehmans.com. That's LEHMANS.com.
Let's go down to the Urban Homestead, Pasadena.
Hi, homesteaders. I'm your host, Anais, from the Urban Homestead in Pasadena. Before we talk about all the homestead happenings, I hope folks and their animals out east, especially out there in Texas, are safe and warm. We're really feeling for y'all out there just to see it so cold and with everything just frozen and pipes bursting and all that stuff. So we feel for you and all your animals and livestock. And so we want to hope you guys keep thinking warm thoughts of spring. And so we really feel for you. Well, I speaking of weather, we're enjoying unseasonably warm and dry temperatures. It's
80 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah,
so.
We're in summer. I'm in bare feet, doors wide open. It's not looking good on the rain front. So, I mean, even though it's nice, it's way too dry. So that's something we're going to have to deal with, especially if we don't get any rain. The
next month or two.
Yeah, if our rain window is narrowing. So that's a little scary. But we've been really super busy since our last episode. So much has gone on. We haven't even had time to just record a podcast. So hopefully we're back to recording podcasts on a regular basis. So much has happened. So I'll start off with asking my brother Justin, who's joining me today, what's going on in the garden. So tell me what you're planting, what's some things that you're coming up against.
Well, unfortunately, I've been watering all day, so that's not a good sign. But
I know you're watering in January and February. So crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously we have our money crops, cash crops is salad mix, and so that goes in on a regular basis, like staggered.
You're turning over a lot of beds.
Starting new soil blocks. We have a great group of volunteers and interns that come in and help me get a head start on that. I did plant some tomatoes.
Which kind?
Artisan tomatoes.
And any big ones? Everybody knows this ongoing joke. Okay, if you haven't tuned into our regularly, you'll know about the tomato episode that I'm famous for.
Okay, thanks for the friendly reminder. I'll put some slicers.
You want to share why I'm asking you what size of tomatoes?
Check out episode whatever. It's there.
No, okay, so I'll just share. So Justin, he's a tomato maniac. So, which is great. Well, one year he planted so many tomatoes, they were all on the small side. So I opened my mouth because, hey, I'm in the kitchen and I want one of these nice heirloom tomato sandwiches with a big, nice slice of tomatoes. So I go out and I'm like, hey, did you plant any ones for sandwiches? And would you give me a look?
And I said, shut up.
So he was like, now you tell me, whatever.
Yeah,
so,
it was June or whatever.
Too late.
And everything, but
okay, so that's the backstory.
Yeah, that's our
that
inside joke. If you've been following us, that reminds me. I just put slicers on my list. So
see, I'm glad we had
this podcast, this conversation.
Because then we won't have another episode of Justin didn't plant any slicing tomatoes for my sandwiches. I want those heirloom tomato sandwiches.
Where were we?
Okay.
We're planting summer stuff, tomatoes, basil, got some squash growing in the greenhouse, so it's going to be a while before it gets in the ground, but still, I thought I was ahead of the game starting first week in February or last week in January. It's going to be March next week, so it's going to be, I feel like I'm already behind. I did get my...
You got some basil planted?
Yeah, I got some basil planted, got some bunch of seeds coming in. Got to check for those slicers. The favas look good.
Oh, the fava beans are beautiful. So if you haven't been to the homestead picking up your farm box, you'll go down. They're on the driveway in these big tubs with the oyas. If you're familiar with us talking about oyas, but it's the clay pot irrigation. And so as you walk down the driveway, they're beautiful. They're what do you say, like 5
Well, that's 2 feet apart.
Yeah, so
2 feet apart, so 3 feet tall.
they're about 3 feet tall, but of course the pots are waist level. So, you're looking at them at eye level, and they're just beautiful, and the bees are working them. And the other day I spotted a couple hummingbirds, and it's so beautiful. All our farm box customers just admire it and just say it's beautiful, because we also have fava beans on one side and the sugar snaps in the middle. And so you walk through a tunnel almost of fava beans and sugar snaps. It's really pretty.
Yeah. Well, I was walking up today, and because it was so hot, I could smell like honey on the nectar from and the bees were working it pretty well. Yeah. So we redid the front yard.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about that. We ripped out a lot of stuff. Old hedges or hedge.
Some stuff that weren't so profitable. It was drought tolerant, hardy, didn't need any care, didn't need any water, but it was sort of like in the wrong place and dominated the landscape with the root system and the shade. So we were able to, pull it out, dig it out.
This is old. Once hedges, after a while, they just get. I mean, it was edible hedge. It was a pineapple guava, but they were just so old and so thick, and the undergrowth, and so sometimes it's just best to start anew. And now, what did we plant instead?
I planted about 20 other things, so everybody that comes by say, "Wow, it's wide open," and hopefully, all the small plants will fill in. We did have. We were talking to one of our catering companies that we've been dealing with for 25 years, and they look like they're not going to open up anytime soon. So now is the time to start growing. We did have a surge in
edible
flower sales during Valentine's. I was like, is this the new normal? But of course, it was a 1 week wonder, and we still like 10, 15, 20 boxes of flowers that one.
Which equals what? How many? Like 500 flowers?
Yeah, about 500 flowers that 1 week. So, yeah, that was. We do grow some flowers, and we're slowly bringing them back. But some of the front yard has been definitely changed from sales and lack of sales, and due to COVID. If everybody's been following it, indoor eating's not allowed, outdoor eating's allowed. So yeah, but the catering company looks like they're going to be shut down for the foreseeable future. So they were our third client.
Since like 1992.
Yep.
I mean that's.
Some
of they're oldest clients. They're older than some of our volunteers, which is pretty scary. So he's like, we've been serving this company since 1992, and it just really hurts our heart when they say that they might not open, and just the relationship we had with them. They're a Pasadena-based company. It was run by a local woman here that was known for her California cuisine. If you're familiar with Peggy Dark, this was before all the hip things that that sprouted from that, and she was on the avant-garde. She was eating edible flowers and putting mustard flowers on her salads back in the 90s. So she was really a trailblazer in the California cuisine
They've been a staple of our business for a while, and we grew things specifically for them. Now it was edible, and so now we have to figure out. Now that we heard back, they're not going to open up for a while. We're changing what we grow and where we grow it. So it's like a clean slate in the front yard. We're keeping some of the perennials, the lavenders and the blue basil, but redoing some of the fringes. So that was I sort of get attached to the plants, and it's kind of hard to pull out plants that you and your dad planted, and now you're pulling things out and putting your own stamp on it. But things change.
Yeah, we put some lavender, some Cleveland sage, some
natives,
some more natives. And then sprinkled some herbs in between that.
Well, there's
thyme
also it opened up the area for New Zealand spinach that comes back every year.
And that's a really good seller with our farm box customers.
Yeah, that sort of dominated that corner or that area, and now with the more sunlight, more water, it's looking good. We got sunflowers and New Zealand spinach and chives and all that other stuff. So it's not done yet. We're always tweaking things. We took down some old raised beds, the last of the raised beds, older raised beds that were against the wall.
Against the fence line, yeah.
Against the fence line that were maybe 10, 15 years old, and they were rotted, and we put in some metal beds, and I had to redo the trellising. bamboo. We like bamboo trellises, but obviously bamboo is natural and bamboo rots. So we've been taking out that. Thinking of building a new seed shelf, seedling shelf. The volunteers like the new area for the soil blocks because it's not as in the corner where all the spiders are and stuff like that. So they like it out there. It's nice to sit there in the morning when,
and especially in the sun and
Yeah.
it's cold. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a nice.
Well,
I wouldn't do
cold,
it in
sorry.
the summertime.
you have to
Cold. Sorry,
California
define
cold.
California,
California
cold.
cold. Yeah.
I wouldn't sit there in the summertime, but it is a nice area. Our cat, that's his first couple of our
Catch the
cats.
rays.
That's our catch the rays when the sun peaks over. That's the first place to go in the farthest corner of the yard. Oh yeah, the garden's looking, and the homestead is just looking amazing. We're tidying up, cleaning up, organizing. As I've always said, organizing and just cleaning is a full-time job. If you're a homesteader, there's just so much stuff to deal with, and storage, and taking your feedback, putting in the containers, putting the container, make sure to keep the water from it. Just
Just
canning
thinking that we have row
jars
covers and plastic covers to go over the beds. But in the last 2 weeks or something, I pulled them off. I'm like, I'll keep them out in case there's a cold snap. And so far, it's going to get 80. Hopefully, it cools down midweek. But it doesn't look like any rain's coming in anytime soon.
No, which is sad. It's really dry. Have you been dealing with any pest issues, or how's the bug front? Any bugs bugging you?
That's relatively mild. There's some aphids here and there. There's some chickens escaped the other day. So the wind blew open the gate.
The wind blew
so
at the gate.
okay.
Yeah.
So that was not. That was.
It was pretty windy. We get these thing called Santa Anais, and it gets pretty fierce. It comes down the canyons and just.
Well, it was like a week worth of wind. It was usually it's a one-day wonder, and it has been like not constantly but consistently windy.
Yeah.
And so that dries out the plants too. So then it doubles
Dries
the water.
out your hands, dries out your space, just dries everything. Everything's dry. It feels like you just want to soak in lotion. It's so dry. But yeah. So anything new? I saw you place some orders in emails. I saw. Thank you for your order from this company, and thank you for ordering. And I've seen little packages coming in from seed companies. So anything new that's surprising that you're going to surprise us with this year?
I'm trying some, I'd say, minor crops. There's a long, for one seed company, it's like a long pumpkin instead of a round one. It's long.
Oh, interesting. What's that called?
I don't remember, but
okay,
it's there.
it's the long
and
pumpkin.
then I have the Seminole pumpkin that grew
we
well
love those,
before,
yeah.
and the Tramasino squash, and I think I got too many seeds and too many plants as usual. It's an addiction. It's an addiction. Seeds Anonymous. Yeah, the seed companies, they take like 2 weeks, 3 weeks now because everybody's buying everything, and they say delay. So glad I got it in January because then I was able to start planting. And then I got a shipment of head start plants to give me a head start.
But yeah, you were checking for a while. I remember you were checking. You're like, every time you would check, they not have anything or they were sold out. So plants are just, everybody's planting a garden, which is great. I mean, people are stuck at home and
I'm sort of
growing their own food.
Because the basil was so bad last year. I sort of have a vendetta to fix what went wrong. So I'm trying different containers,
all basil everywhere, and see where it's going to go.
I bought 450 plants. Of basil, so
pesto, and more pesto.
Well, that's if I can get it through. Then the wind came and blew the tops off some of them, so it's kind of sad. Yeah,
that's sad.
But I have a basil challenge to try to get the basil back, so I'm switching things up, growing them in pots in different areas of the yard. Irrigation is gonna be tricky if it doesn't rain. What else we got growing?
Let's see.
The edible flowers look good.
Yeah, you trimmed back some of the figs. You trimmed a lot of the guavas back. So you did your hard pruning for the year.
Yeah, you did some of that too. You took out all the blackberries along the fence line, and
I cleaned it up. It was like a jungle. It was like it was what do you call that?
Overgrown.
It was overgrown, and it was painful to get in there because you'd get caught, and it wasn't fun. I'm thinking of the volunteers, because
well, that's why it's overgrown, because they weren't. I wouldn't send them over there to do it.
I know, so because they were just like could not pick them because they were scared. So I sort of
like I said, we're always tweaking things and said this one grows well, this grew too well, this didn't grow well, so we're moving things around, different areas, different corners, trying new things. So I took a bunch of cuttings, got the greenhouse going. And we got a soil block routine with the new interns
and they love doing the soil blockers. So yeah, well, lots going on in the garden for sure. I'm trying to think of anything that's comes to mind that stood out before I go on to what's new on the online and everything. Anything else? That's pretty much it.
I'm sure as soon as they sign off.
We'll remember something. Well, what's new on my front is a lot of things. I'm juggling a lot of things, but two new things I like to talk about is our new online CSA store, which is now going to handle our farm box program, and we launched that 2 weeks ago. It's urbanhomesteadsupply.com. And we're real proud of the new online store because it showcases the collective of farmers and food artisans that we're working with, and the shop is a little upgraded with pretty pictures and things like that. So
yeah, the reason we did we had nothing was wrong with the older software. We were trying to cut back on expenses and allow us the option to ship some hard goods or non-perishable goods, and the software allows us to do that. Before Dad died, we had an online store for many years. Amazon took a cut out of that, and then when we shut it down after Dad died, to be able to streamline. And because COVID happened, we lost 80% of our revenue stream. We had like 10 revenue streams, and COVID took out 80% of them. So this was and it was supposed to be over sometime soon, but it looks like it's still going. Yeah. So we wanted to restart the online store to be able to ship Oyas or soil blockers or seeds or anything that's not perishable. So that was a combination. Instead of running two sites, one CSA site and one shipping site, we sort of combined them into one. Nothing was wrong with the other software. It just sort of, we outgrew it. Mm-hmm. We're also trying to save our processing fees and cut some of our costs because everything is rising. Mm-hmm. Fuel prices are rising, packaging is rising, boxes, clamshells, all the stuff that you need.
Even canning jars are
now $2 each.
Can't find them. They're out of stock.
On Amazon, they're $2 each. So. It's pretty. Everything's going up. Unfortunately, we had to go up on our prices, and then obviously the processing fees and the software companies take fees. So it's been it's been a learning process. The first week we joked it was a train wreck, to put it politely.
Okay, so enough to make me cry 4 times and you cry once, right? Okay. So it was a challenge.
But I'll deny it.
It was really rough because it was training and changing and training over 200 customers to go from one site to the next site, and
us learning it.
And we were learning the software. They were learning as well. They were confused. Some were like re-signing up on the old site, and then they would sign up on the new site and then cancel. So that was really, really rough. It was.
Last week was better. It was more of a traffic jam.
And then this weekend is definitely it's like a traffic jam on the 405. Now it's moving slowly but surely. But no, we really appreciate our customers' patience as we transition and moved with us as well. We got nothing but positive feedback regarding the online store, of course, like the questions and difficulties of just learning new things. They thought they could, and it's good for me. I got actually a learning experience as well because I wanted to be there, answering their questions. When a text came in, when an email came in, when a phone call in, and then I was right on it because I didn't want our customers to be frustrated, and I wanted to know that we were there for them and learning as well. And so some said, I'm sorry to bother you. And I said, no, you're not bothering me, because I am learning what you are seeing and what you're coming up against, or what's the challenge, so that I can write the email, like how to order or how to log in better. So it was training me as well to see it from their eyes.
This website like three times in 1 week on customer feedback. Like, oh, I can't see this and I want this and
so
that. So we went in there. You went in there and changed it while I was up at 3 o'clock doing farm boxes.
I was changing. I was doing the backside, and like I said, even one person put out, if you said, the simple as the wording, if you put or, I was like, so, because I'm busy picking, packing, also helping Justin, and sometimes I'm not reading or just and so when they said, I was a little, confused, and they suggested, put or, and I was like, brilliant. So it was
some as minor as they weren't logged in. Other ones were they ordered 4 boxes 1 week instead of 4 boxes per month. So obviously we had to, and double billing between the 2 sites. So that was keeping on top of the transfers and the refunds and the credits, and learning new software. I'm not exactly the techie, but thanks for the girls who helped us get through the drama of software change. So in the middle, it should have been
we should So anyhow, we're done that, past that, got a new online store, like I said, urbanhomesteadsupply.com, where
we haven't figured out the shipping yet, so be patient. We'll hopefully this week or next week we'll be able to start shipping some things. So
that was one thing, and like I said, we really appreciate the support of our farm box customers, because without them, they're supporting not only us, but the collection of farms and food artisans as well. And we brought in a bunch of new artists and local artists. We have a lady who makes soap. We brought in a local flour from our local flour mill. So we're really expanding and offering more selection to our CSA members, and they're really excited about that. On the another online front, we since the new year, this was done back in January, but we also launched the Urban Homestead Institute, our nonprofit website. So that was that's at urbanhomesteadinstitute.org. So we launched that. It's a lot of things aren't filled out completely because of the pandemic put a pause on a lot of stuff, but
the outreach.
Yeah, the outreach, the in-person outreach. Oh, there goes Marley.
Snoring.
He's snoring. He's bored. Thank you, Marley.
Thanks for nice appearance.
Thank you for your snoring. Old man. Anyhow,
you got a board meeting tonight.
Yeah, I have a board meeting tonight. So after this podcast, I am jumping on the Zoom and doing a board meeting. But on the urbanhomesteadinstitute.org website, you're able to donate and sponsor a program. So there's
see our board of directors.
and see our board of directors and get to see them with their pictures and
bios.
Yeah, and their little bios. So we're really excited about that. Even though, like I said, the in-person learning sessions aren't happening, I was able to do some online virtual farm-to-table sessions with local 3rd graders.
How many you did this week?
I've done 4, and I have 2 more. And it was really fun. It was a challenge for me because I usually am a person that wants to, have them, smell this, taste this, hold this. So to bring that experience into a virtual online Zoom form was a challenge for me. But
the last one, they didn't want to leave.
They did not want to leave, and I have nothing but positive feedback from the teachers. So I really appreciated that opportunity to.
It was definitely a learning curve.
Yeah, it was a learning curve because I was trying to figure it out, and now I'm getting better. I got 2 cameras. I got my laptop, and I got my cell phone doing 2 camera angles, and it's been fun. So and the kids.
But it's learning because usually we feed off the energy of the kids when they're here.
Yeah.
Taste this, smell that, show this, and although no offense to Zoom, sometimes you can't feel the energy.
No.
It's still disconnected, but they definitely did learn something.
They did learn something, and the teacher said that.
And you did too.
Yeah, I know. The teacher said that during the day, because she's with them the rest of the day, she said they just keep talking about what they what we talked about in the morning, because the classes are at 8:00 in the morning and they go till 9. So I love it, and I realize how much I miss it. So that's something that I hopefully come back soon.
One or two tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I have one tomorrow and one more on Friday, and then I also taught online knitting to another group of these were adults. It was sort of a pitch session for a company, if they to break up their meetings, they wanted to do something, and I was knitting, and I think I got 4 knitters out of the 9, so I think that was pretty dang good. I thought they'd be in tears and we were gonna to stab their computer with their needles, but no, it went well. So that went well, yeah, because like the schools, our Pasadena school district is opening pretty soon, so it looks like things are opening up. Can you believe it's been a year since our first lockdown? And remember, they said to flatten the curve, 2 weeks. 2 weeks ended up 360 something days. So anyhow, we're slowly reopening here in California, especially Los Angeles, and with that, we're kind of seeing what things are, what is opening, and we're considering reopening ourselves, of course, with COVID guidelines and in limited capacity. But we're considering hosting a tour in spring, maybe the first day of spring. We're thinking maybe March 21st. So we'll see, and if that happens, we'll definitely post it on Facebook, and we'll send it out in the newsletter and share it on Instagram. I've been kind of behind on posting on Instagram and Facebook. I uploaded some pictures today and share with y'all, so hopefully you're enjoying some of those pictures.
Yeah, you're sleeping in, slacking off.
I'm sleeping and slacking off, just
yeah,
between laundry, feeding the animals.
No, the software was brutal. So the software switch was brutal, but a necessary brutal, because things change, and they said change puts fear and make grown men cry. So, and that is a true statement. We shall not say who was crying, but
person that's talking right now.
So we remain nameless. But no, it's just long hours, lack of sleep.
Hey, but that's what farming. You know what? People don't really realize that. Not only you're just farming.
We got that complaint. We got it.
No,
we got good.
No, we're very blessed. It's this. People just don't. I don't think. It's running your own business, running a farm, running a homestead.
Customer service.
So you're wearing many hats. Customer service. Accountant. You're picking and packing boxes. Your accountant. Your
water,
social
irrigation.
media, irrigation, dealing with customers when they pick up, answering their questions, and so it's you wear a lot of hats, and then by the end of the day you're exhausted, and then you wonder what happened with the week.
Unfortunately, we love what we do.
Yeah.
I know we sound like we're complaining, but we're really fortunate.
Yeah.
We're grateful. We're blessed
to
be in the position we are.
So.
And that's why we keep doing what we're doing, because we love sharing with y'all our story.
Yeah. So hopefully you're enjoying these podcasts. If you have any questions, we'd love to maybe answer them. So shoot us an email or send us a Facebook message or Instagram message. And in the meantime, check out like I said, our new CSA store, urbanhomesteadsupply.com, and our new nonprofit website, urbanhomesteadinstitute.org. And with that in websites, we are going to be redesigning the main page, urbanhomestead.org. We have some ideas in mind. We're going to clean it up a little bit and give it a new facelift, hopefully soon, but we'll see.
It'll take a software break.
Yeah, I think I'm done with computers for a while. I literally joke with a friend when we changed the software and we launched the new website. I was literally tied to my laptop from Friday to the next Friday, so a week. Me and my laptop were best buds for a long time. And then I had 4 classes. I know. And then I had 4 classes in between that, and I was just like, ugh. Yeah. So that was like finals week, but it was all good. We're coming out of that, and we're looking forward to spring and what's going to be growing the future this year, and what's going to play out at the homestead. So we really appreciate you tuning in, and we hope, again, everybody is safe and especially warm. and that everything will thaw and that spring is around the corner. So in the meantime, keep on growing.
Bye. Thank you.
Let's go down to the Urban Homestead, Pasadena.
We love to hear your feedback or questions. Visit us at urbanhomestead.org to check out what's happening on the homestead. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And until next time, keep on growing.